I can go suck the biggest wiener on the planet.
Damn, that's a big wiener. Hey everybody, it's Ace Attorney time.
Just the largest one that humankind can find.
February 24, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
It's February 24th.
So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all... Oh, this is Lana.
Oh, right. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed.
I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning.
We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are.
Miss Sky?
What?
I just made a weird noise. That wasn't me reading your line. That's crazy.
Monka, I just liked how you trailed off it.
We found... Nope, not a voice. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall.
What kind of trace evidence?
Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact.
Oh.
That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall. We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky?
Do what you have to, Mr. Wright. I'm going to go continuously try to get myself arrested again.
You can't stop me. February
stop
24th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9.
I want to strike another plea bargain. I'll admit to it if you promise to kill me.
Court of Mountain Session for the trial of Miss Lorna Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is...
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
Well, that's not physically possible, is it? Or is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe... Hi, Malachi.
Hi, Malachi.
The way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now that's what set Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Yes.
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department?
It's impossible to say.
Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
Cowpoke.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Cowpoke, yeah.
Oh boy.
Little doggy.
Things are getting wild from the get-go.
Great, now we have to deal with... Oh! God, I just hate his face. You know what he reminds me of before I read this line? He is just like that fucking one dude in fucking Eye of the Somnium Files. Remember how everyone was kind of normal?
Exclamation point.
Yeah, the fucking like whatever the one fucker's dad.
Mr. Tall
the
Boy,
loser
Mr.
boy.
Tallhead.
Yeah, like everyone looked basically like a person, a little stylized, you know, but like within a sort of realm of possibility. And then there was one motherfucker who just looked like a nightmare. That's the same thing that Mr. fucking Meeseeks over here is like. Because like he just I hate him. I really don't like him at all.
That's fair.
Anyways,
he's a train wreck of a person.
Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is that would be murderer, sir.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Maximally,
Sir, what would you call part of the younger generation, sir? The person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edler, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir.
give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. Can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
God, I just hate him so much. I would like, if I was in the same room as this man, I would just leave. Like I would not have the strength.
Has the voice I've appended to him helped in any way?
Oh, the voice is perfect. Like you'd be a fool and a coward to give him any other voice. Like it fits like a velvet glove. But that's because he's a fucking train wreck.
He's incredibly writing. Crime reports, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, but I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
Bad motto. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. Knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin with cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with.
Yeah, the megaphone noise doesn't help either.
Everything
They're like, what if we also
was
made
bad.
him screech? Yeah.
Everything he said was vague. Every fucking one of them. Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Oh no. Yikes, now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant that many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir.
Oh, they gave him a nothing task.
It was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. Seems like you did a bad job based on the duct tape.
I see. Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
So that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
Hold it! In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here on my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! That's the one right there!
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596
That's Bruce Goodman.
is being shown is shown as being used twice.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
I'm glad
His
they
was the 5A2. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad
They put the
fucking
names in.
Yeah, because
Who rolled the number that is all sevens? Imagine being the dude with all sevens rolling in at 420 blazed hours. What a guy.
What a fucking champion.
So someone beeped out, right? Or does that only track people going in?
I think it only tracks people going in because I don't think you have to swipe it on your way out. I mean, I guess
Please
we'll find out.
explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger in the evidence room. The second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to ID card record. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I forgot to press that. Hold it. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife!
A knife attacked you. Amazing.
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with me charging it on him like that, I looked surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's how I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. If you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it. Oh, hold it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. Oh boy.
Shut the fuck up.
The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. You must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir! Lucky him. Hold it! About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious! Oh, right.
Well, you didn't, like, look around? You didn't go, how long have I been out? You didn't look at a clock? Anyways. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
So about 16 minutes later, roughly. You hit me right in the head, too! I woke up crying tears of pain!
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. I tried to make that more crackly, and then it just sort of didn't. Just stayed on the high part. Well, we can all rest easy now.
This got out of hand!
Out of hand!
Out of hand!
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
I forgot about Chief Gant. Oof. The chief.
Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage
So
of the
this
security
contains
camera in the
moving
evidence
picture.
room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. It's in a book.
Oh wait, this is me again.
Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Josh, I want to hear your genuine reaction to this video as it happens.
Okay. I see the blue badger.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Okay. It's a dude walking in.
This is a shit security camera, by the way.
This camera oscillates a little quickly. Wow, okay. Alright. It's gonna be one of those days.
There goes Mike.
You fucking... There's Meekins. There he is. Up, the flag's back in position. There it is. Are you fucking with me right now? This is infuriating.
I know, isn't it? Hi there, Mike. Look at those fucking sick 3D graphics, though. Ba 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 ba. Literally, everybody's just like, huh, I see.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sure, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video added to the court record.
Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity did take place.
You can't skip me this time, Steven, because
I
I'm
didn't.
both parts.
I didn't.
Oh.
It just does that automatically sometimes. When characters
see.
cut each other
A
off,
likely
it just
sort.
sort of goes.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Fucking... His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do.
Well, he just had the same fingerprints.
Unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him.
Was
no
his
one else could have
identical
unlocked
twin.
it.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock.
Oh boy, I just remember that I'm going to need to use the fucking playback controls for this video, and I don't remember how. I have no idea how that's gonna go.
These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. No, I don't know why I've started doing that. Don't ask.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin this process.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with a contradiction. That's where I have to start. So the tape does prove something in here, Okay, well, his face can't be clearly seen in the video. True. There's no question the other person was Detective Goodman. Well...
There's at least a question.
We don't know. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. True. Locker he opened is his locker. Yup. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Oh.
It says press, yes. Hold it.
Hold it.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir? If I may say something, sir?
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. Neither do my hip.
Ba, 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 ba.
Have you guys heard about this Kesha thing?
Or
That's
would he say,
Shakira.
Have you guys heard about K $Ha?
Hips Don't Lie is also Shakira.
oh, fuck, it is!
I
It's
tri-
fine. It
I tried
works
to save
anyways. It's fine. I'm just also a boomer.
I do be like that.
And my hips don't... Nah. Besides, it's only one of her, like, top 5 songs. Like, it's not,
It's
like...
not even that big a deal.
It's not even She-Wolf, alright?
She will.
Which, that song fucking slaps. It rips, it tears. There's a She-Wolf in the closet. But yeah. I literally have Hips Don't Lie... I literally have Hips Don't Lie on my Spotify. I just fucked it up. I don't know why I have a long history of getting Shakira and Kesha confused, even though they're not similar.
I'd feel like I do that with the Eagles and Eagles did Hotel California, right?
Yes, they did.
Who's the other one? The Eagles and Elton John, I think, which is weird because they don't sound anything alike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think for Shakira, I think it's literally Shakira and Kesha just both have a sh and a k sound, and my brain is just like these are the same.
Same sound.
Unless the defense can find a problem with it.
The footage like Wiggs box and it cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
Again. Is there a problem with the security video? I mean, there has to be.
There's a problem.
We'll find it. Regarding the video
There's
contained
a
on this tape,
problem.
there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange.
The contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out. Yes, I think he would.
Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence.
You know, if I were
Was it just like the...
if I were in a court, if I were in a court of law and I said I think there's a problem with this video, and the prosecution just went, shit, I guess he's right. Like, Anyway, yeah, it's just
Anyway.
wild that he's like, he would want me to prove what I said. How dare he?
He would hold me to having evidence. What a fucker.
What a cock.
What a dick. I've already read this line.
Ah.
Okay.
I will now play the security tape.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but pretty sure I read it.
Miss Wright, please show us this contradiction you spoke of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've
Was
ever
the
had to
dude
do
wearing
that.
gloves? Because he didn't leave fingerprints,
He did not.
which makes you think he was wearing gloves. This is also you.
Oh, you can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did
Oh,
this guy
play
ever
as
become a
many
police
times as
officer?
you want.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates this man may not be Detective Goodman?
Why the fuck are these the control?
J
Backspace
for rewind. I love it.
Oh, I think I see it on the right side there. So I want to check something when it goes all the way back around. Well, first of all, a fucking glove just fell out of it. Yeah,
Was it jammed open?
it could be. I wish fast forward were faster than this.
This is fast forward.
Hold on, maybe it's. Oh, there we go.
I mean, I don't see what fast forwarding is gonna do. I think we gotta rewind.
Can I fast rewind?
With J.
Yes. Rewind is fast.
Alright, let's go back to the beginning. I want to also check to see if that light's on before he opens the locker. Because it looks like the light comes on when the locker is opened.
Yeah.
That locker's already open. Right?
Correct. Ba 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 da da. Take that!
Da, da, da. Hey, guess what, motherfuckers?
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir? Do you mean me, sir? No, the other one.
No, I mean the other.
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this.
The lacquer.
The lacquer apparatus.
As I understand it, the lacquer works this way.
When you grab the handle, the sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
Besides the blue badger.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind a little earlier. Oh my god, really?
Dude, why? Did they just need to stretch the budget they had for this fucking 3D graphics? Like, no, dude, we're gonna be able to show this like 7 times.
Couldn't even fast forward backwards. Fast backwards.
Uh,
Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit, bro!
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Man, that one looked uncomfortable.
Order! Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. Or anything.
Except law, I think.
Except being a judge? How did I get here?
They are the future of gaming. Mulligan. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh, well, it goes to show novices to keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor?
Uh-huh.
Yes,
You?
well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor. Something jammed the sensor? Say,
Like jam.
there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue here somewhere in this footage.
God, now we have to fast forward until the glove falls out.
Yep.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please find out the cause of this.
Ba-da-da-da.
I hate this video.
Da-da-da.
This is bad content. Got him. Click it. What?
I was trying to get it centered, but
Oh.
it's fine.
Oh, I see.
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Is it really gonna play the whole last video again?
I'm going.
Sorry, I was drinking water, but I was so mad. This video makes me want to die, dude. This is so annoying.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door. Sir, what? We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What?
Oh. I think. Oh, go. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted.
Why? There's no need.
Steven,
We
Steven,
just watched
please.
it.
Steven, I can't watch this fucking video anymore. It's driving me insane, Steven. Steven, what do you want from me to make it stop, please?
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. What? 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck at the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the
How is
door
this man not
closing, my
dead?
tie chokes
How
me.
has he gotten here?
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit the door. In the door.
God, I just couldn't. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents, like some sort of rubber glove. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. Whatever that. But at the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Can they not clearly see it's a glove falling out?
Yeah.
Why this part?
I don't know.
It would have to be so thin and
It's just like pointing at the table. You're like, you fuckers see this rubber glove falling
You see
out,
it's
right?
a glove, right?
Like, you see that it's there. You know, it's not just like,
Why, I can't even. What object is that?
And it's
Very
at
well,
the,
well,
we
it-
found it at the crime scene.
yeah, like literally where it fell. Oh god. Anyways,
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
We have so much shit. Yeah, it would have been this rubber glove.
It's the extremely
that!
thin rubber glove.
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that it was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this.
Don't you dare play. Okay.
On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
So
Sir?
that means that
It would
Wright
appear
is the
so,
murderer.
sir.
Guilty. Order! 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 So we are to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir?
But
Me,
he doesn't.
sir?
He doesn't know who Bruce Goodman is.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Am I a joke to you?
Begin your testimony. If anyone the joke here is me.
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
That doesn't prove it was him. That just proves the card was used. What are you talking about?
An ID card record, I see.
It is the Blue Badger that does make it worse, smaller guy for sure. I have the ID record card record right here, Your Honor.
So do I. You're not special.
This is the updated ID record. You can see that only Officer Meekins went in. That's like his name is gone. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. Because his hair is...
Cause his hair's yeah. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination.
Alright, so I'm gonna go through our evidence, because we do have it. Then one must use
Nice.
their ID card. Where would be tab? Go through it.
Alright, let me try to deduce it.
Got
Show
crime
me.
None of this is relevant. You got the record, which is not good enough on its own. It just proves that his card was used, which is correct.
Right.
Fingerprinting set, unhelpful. This random screwdriver that Edgeworth had for some reason, unhelpful, I think. Goodman's lost item report. What does that say?
We can check it. He lost ID. 5, and then he scribbled it out.
Because he got the number. Because he immediately got the number wrong.
So he lost his ID.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep.
Is that where it's made?
It says you can. Yeah. You can present either his ID or the lost
This
item.
or the fact that the ID was at his thing. Let's do the item
was found
card.
at the crime scene, yeah. At the
Yeah,
at the
30
second
minutes
crime.
away.
Yeah. Objection! Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office.
Makes less sense.
Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? That's why he couldn't write the number, because he didn't have his ID
I
card.
can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order. So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Was Jake Marshall? I mean, what?
What? Who? What? No.
Who? What? Oh, no, it could have been anybody else.
Order. Does the prosecution have a response?
I'm getting sick of saying order. I say it so much. I have only one thing to say to the defense. Fuck you. See? Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Congratulations. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... Well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't going to end well. Always a great thing to hear your lawyers say.
Well, it seems you've finally realized. I just given a lot of you're not just a clown, you're the entire circus vibes. True. Exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime could only take place in one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Sky, the defendant. Suck it, Eamon. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the very beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, I don't care anymore. This trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana.
Lana.
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Object.
Objection! One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright?
That's exactly the tone I was hoping you would use.
Thank you. Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder.
True.
Correct, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker
God, I
was
hate
gone.
this video. Why?
Why is it still playing?
Why?
However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of this matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Yeehaw.
Do you mean,
Stop reading my thoughts!
Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her or non-binary's name?
Take that! Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is being subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess. I'm gonna eat lunch.
Time for 40 bentos.
I have so many lunch
11:32
boxes.
a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seemed you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. Lon, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You
Emma!
always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
Listen, there's a lot of moving parts here. Have you heard of chess? Imagine that, but like 4 of these of them. I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust
You went a little
me?
Italian on that one.
I did.
I can be so cold.
So cold.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run around all on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, detective.
You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor's guy.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh, oh, you mean this, right?
God, I love Gumshoe. He's such a guy. My apologies, detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with the serial murders. To do with serial
Let's
murders.
read that real quick. Perpetrator Joe Dark, crime serial murder, sentence death. Victims Edward Jones, Edith
John
Kirby,
Dark,
Jeb
as in
Bates.
the French name for Joan of Arc? No, nothing like that. At all.
Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall.
No!
Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Sky, Emma Sky.
Emma!
Executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Sky, head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall, and Angel Star.
That seems like conflict of interest. I don't think you can, like...
There's a wild conflict of interest all over this fucking case. Fucking one of the victims was Marshall's brother. One of the witnesses is the executive investigator.
Yeah, right? It's like, I don't think you're supposed to do that, you know?
There's a lot going on there.
Oh, what? Now I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? I just chopped the liver through you?
Emma? But why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that...
It's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark Killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana! That's over with, no! Oh. Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I gotta be anywhere else. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Oh. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Oh no, you might just be able to figure it out. I'm not going to tell you, of course. That would be silly. Time to get back to the... Sorry, just briefly, like, died or something.
Your own tongue, yeah.
Yeah. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'm glad you know what that experience is. Don't have like 3 lawyers.
To be continued.
That's true. We
Right
haven't seen
now.
very many lawyers or investigators in this world, so maybe there's like nobody. Maybe it's not a popular field.
So I know this is supposed to take place in Japan, technically, but like, is it in a specific city, Mologai, or is it just kind of like somewhere in Japan?
Is it like say like Citiesville, America or something?
I mean, in the context of the American releases, it's in San Francisco, I think, is what they say. Despite the fact that all of the environments look nothing like San Francisco.
You're
but
in
look a lot
San
like
Francisco.
Japan. Just February 24th,
Nah.
12:14 p.m.
Nah,
Just
listen
before
here,
7
boy. That's the classic San Francisco skyline
That's the
and hot dog vendor.
That's the San Francisco Tokyo Tower right there.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to unplug my I had to go get water basically. Long story short, because I have to down water while we do this because
Yeah.
it just obliterates my voice,
Yep, I get that.
especially this guy. But I'm not gonna change it.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. There he is. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Oh boy.
Where's the music? Me, partner? I'm just a wandering man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman.
Yes, for my name, if you listen hard enough, you could hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. That was a pretty good one. That's a sick burn, right?
That's pretty underhanded there. I like it. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place.
I have to move to day 3 trial ladder now. Because we're in a different section.
Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Just start throwing E's on the end of all of your words.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the side street saloon by the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Okay, what the fuck is this guy saying? I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
Yeah, I mean the security the cameras.
Yep.
It's so hard sometimes reading words and saying them.
Yeah.
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks. What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not good with machines or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one just seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Musty be.
I like that he actually said prosecutor for once instead of prospector.
Just keep a wary eye. Said I was supposed to make the rounds. Besides rooms detected by security. You were at the street side saloon. Just an innocent traveling man. No, you fucking aren't. We've got your handprint, bitch. Bitch.
Why do
Objection.
bloody handprint though?
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month.
You're supposed to
It's
do it
only
like 3
natural.
times. You're supposed to do
My
it 3 times a
fingerprints-
day, and you do it once a month.
Every few years, every year or so, I get in there and just walk around. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection! I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? The fuck is luminol?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
Eh?
I accidentally went a little edge right there. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints?
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime.
I like the pause.
Sometimes I just can't put enough text in the box.
No, I meant like because you're like clicking on something else.
Ah.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Nor did you know the murderer was wearing gloves.
Why did you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be any fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Bloodstained fingerprints, cross-examination. It's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. Hold it! Whose fucking locker was it?
Partner.
That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. Then, one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
And whiskey. Lots of whiskey. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Marshall's fingerprint updated in the court record. Now the murderer was wearing gloves? What's up with that? Hold it. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards.
Eh?
There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? It might be. Hold it.
Oh, that's actually a new one. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner?
Oh, sorry.
It's Tokyo. Yeah, but it isn't green. Sometimes they do that, where like they make it green even though it's never been said before.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think it's just because it's technically still part of testimony, and all the testimony is green. What do you mean by that?
Well, time is crime, isn't that right, partner?
Maybe.
Maybe like a little bit. Even so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection! But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind.
Places you can't see. Blind spots. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
I don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
I would love to. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully. My stream is lagging, so I'm gonna stall, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video.
Oh god, the music again.
Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jack Marshall.
I fucking hate this video
I'm
so
gonna fast
fucking
forward.
much.
I'm gonna see if you can catch it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ba 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 da 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 da.
Oh! Yeah! The locker was opened and closed because that thing wasn't sticking out of it before.
Damn, I was really hoping
Marshall's locker?
Yeah, I was really hoping I could rewind just back to the end of the tape, but it doesn't work that way, so we're gonna have to fast forward through the whole pitch again. Apparently the gameplay taking place in LA is not explicitly stated until Apollo Justice. Huh. Ba 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 da 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 da. Pause. Click on that.
Yep,
shit.
there it is.
I think I remember noticing that when we were in the thing too, is that there was a thing sticking out from the locker, but we had no way of opening it because it's fingerprint locked. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake. I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
Caught him.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. No! Must we?
Also, my screen share is lagging. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna stop and start it again, but...
Seems to be fine. Just forewarning, I guess. Gotta hate this video.
Oh! The white cloth! It's gone like a magic trick. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. The crime time. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order! It would seem as if...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. You got the wrong man.
Do I?
So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
It actually does.
Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Apparently the stream stopped for a bit too, Molly guy says.
Oh. Seems
Fun.
to be fine on my end now. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Yeah, I call you bluff. It's doing it again, by the way. I can't see anything.
Yeah, the bitrate's suddenly... The bitrate is hovering between 0 and, like, 200.
You say I opened that locker, now prove it.
Where's the fingerprint? Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that!
Fingerprint sensor?
Is he chewing on a piece of jerky in that Sprite?
Yes, he is.
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only got one word for you, partner.
No! Nah! Order! 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 Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. The crime time.
Crime time.
Olay! Please,
Well, that caught me off guard.
please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans.
Can we?
There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. Didn't see him.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Well, let's see. Was he Officer Meekins?
Or was he the other person?
The only other person in the room. It's hard to say. Take that.
Monka think.
Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall.
Yes.
It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. Why?
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled out a knife on me!
I think Officer Marshall always has.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to rank a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as a victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Yeah, I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
Or do you? I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Bluff.
He is very good at bluffing.
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics?
Except he said it like,
For me, that
when
would be
you've run into a wall
When
with
you
no place to go, return to the basics!
For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, nope.
Well, this is me technically. Phoenix, try Sorry. I forgot what I did for her in the new game. It's been so long.
Well, we haven't started
I'm
it
just
yet.
gonna make...
She's been dead the whole time.
Alright. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in the disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jack Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened his locker in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions.
Ah!
I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
You have a guess?
I'm trying to see what would have been like in this video.
It was there in that
I mean,
show. It was there in that
he
show.
got blood on the coat, right?
Yeah, just a fucking crazy amount of it, in fact.
Yeah, of Meekins' blood, so he couldn't walk out with the blood-stained coat, 'cause that would be
Back it up.
suspicious.
Just a fucking shitload of it. Take
Yeah,
that!
I assumed it was that. I just didn't know what in the video was going to show it.
It's a very brief thing. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
The bloody coat? They
Couldn't
sound
just-
British.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
What's the partner in quotes? He doesn't like us anymore, aw. I mean, that's okay. He did a break.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today. We all wouldn't have to be here now, would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. Seems the time has come. The crime time. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. He had managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. Meekins. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Are you sure?
It was.
He seems to bleed a lot.
He does.
Well, we still have to deal with that jar that dropped, right?
Yeah, there's
The
still
broken jar.
still no idea about that.
Why would... I assume the jar was full of blood or something weird.
Hold it! When you say it, you mean
You even have to ask, partner?
the SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It's going to be completely end with the transfer day. That day.
Yep.
This is getting worse. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
Because someone died that he was related to? That day was my last chance, that's why.
Byron, hold it! Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole it that morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. That explains why it was just in the middle of the fucking floor.
And so essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door.
Ha!
That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
That was
hold
experience.
it.
Oh wait, that was old.
You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistake a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID?
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Why is Edgeworth in charge of that? When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Because he was the winner, dude. He won the cup. Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one here?
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
He literally just kept the same knife on his person and is currently using it to cut his beard. Hold it!
You mean this here knife?
So you did your research beforehand.
Fingerprints like the rifle marks of a person. Good one, Molly guy. Nice. I like it.
That was a good one. You got me.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you blooded your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? Being unconscious, what do you fucking mean?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. A little bambina.
So what you're saying is on that day...
There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Hold it! But the blood found at the scene clearly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim showing that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
Oh! What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's the evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Dude, this is like a he's been dead for 40 years moment.
Right? Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
You are in a court of law. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
You know why? We do know why!
You know why? Yeah.
Objection!
Neil Marshall!
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
It sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
Oh, damn, what?
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award.
Now I remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He also dressed like a fucking cowboy.
Correct.
He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them.
Oh, that's the other
We were
person in the
desperate to
cowboy
prosecute
hat in
the
this
killer.
image.
Yeah. I like how they just both dressed like fucking cowboys and no one ever put it together. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Case is finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. My brother was a fucking awesome fucker. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. Dude fought bears, it was crazy. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. I saw this dude bite a rattlesnake's head off. Are you telling me this fucking skinny bitch killed him? Crazy.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with... Oh, sorry. Wrong southern voice. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's gotta be more than that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's parking lot was the real one.
which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Objection! But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There will yet remain the mystery of simultaneous murder at the police department.
It seems to me this boy has got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
ah!
Got him. I rest my case. Make a single word. No.
No. Objection.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it!
I am going to
Your
kill
Honor,
my... What
wait.
do you want?
Emma,
People can't just roll in here. This is a court of law. Don't we have security? Do we close the door?
the defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? Then I'll give you 3.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were on that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I know his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured that if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad, I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy.
Whoa. Time's up! Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be.
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? You have a guess? It has to do with the video. Does that help you?
I mean, we couldn't see anything because the fucking blue badger was in front of it.
Objection! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
Right?
Yes. It was literally in front of the fucking locker.
Yeah. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes,
The
something that
blue
when
badger.
drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood marks.
Let us pray. Simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
That fucking fucker right there.
Take that!
There he is! What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
That was stupid. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime.
Yep.
Well?
Well, what?
Gasp.
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
I mean, you didn't put the handprint where. What do you want about? You should know that.
What?
My God.
So that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time.
Yeah, when someone smashed a pot. Gotta hit this video.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd
Objection! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
You have an idea? Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence?
Show me the list.
What shows when the first crime took place?
I mean, it's got to be that ID card report, right?
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
that! If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. That just makes sense. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
And it was a good... Yeah, it was a while. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away. By the real murderer.
Now, I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Miles Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's see, look at the chart again.
It's all sevens,
There's
baby.
only one other card that remaining. 7777777. 7.
Seven.
I did have to count. And I'm pretty sure I still got
Talk
it
about a
wrong.
lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777. 7. 7
It's
sevens,
seven,
right?
7 times.
Yeah, okay.
You could just say sevens. I'll accept it.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777. 7.
That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection! But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes.
No, not to you. To her, defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not Sevens.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. That trial 2 years ago. Did you really only use legitimate evidence? I'll be honest, I did not know I was in this room.
The defendant's always in here.
Yeah, but like, are they though? Because they never show them in any of the shots. They just appear when needed.
Correct. Well, they've only got one spot for a witness.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we occasionally felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Eh? Lana.
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I ask you again, Chief. Whoa, he just appeared in her spot during that trial 2 years ago. Did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
Oh no, I totally did. I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Eh?
Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. It's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana.
Even if it involved forging evidence.
Fucking straight up. I bet Edgeworth is pissed.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. No!
Whoa! That's loud.
Order! 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 Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. The third and final day. To be continued. Jesus Christ, it's so loud. Saving content. I would love to save my progress up to this point.
Wow, what expert timing.
I know, right?
Good job, us.
It's a nice game. It's real,
It's very good, yes.
very, clicked outside.
It is almost as good as forging evidence.
It's almost as good as borscht. And
Have you
Russian
ever
dishes.
just looked at a murderer and said like, but what if we just said he did it?
Genius. Why even bother with evidence when you can just make shit
Why
up?
even bother with evidence when we could just say, oh, it was him. Look, I have a note from him saying, oh, I did it. Oh, look at that. How silly that he did that.
Crazy.
I like how they cut to the judge when Lana and Marshall are talking because they use the same background.
Yeah, they couldn't have it just switch from one to the other. That'd be wild. Alright. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us tonight. This case is so good. It's spicy.
That's borscht.
Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow for Yakuza. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.